Well, Beyonce's country era is officially underway. Her highly anticipated country album dropped today, and it really has a lot of people talking.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold'em.
That's the song Texas Hold'em, one of the tracks on Beyonce's new album, Act 2, Cowboy Carter. The 27-song collection includes a collab with country superstar Willie Nelson and, of course, a cover of Dolly Parton's hit, Jolene, Jolene. Now, while she's getting a warm reception from some country greats, like Dolly and Willie, she says not everybody in the country music world has been quite so supportive.
Yeah, before the album dropped, Beyonce posted this on Instagram, saying in part, the album took more than 5 years to make, adding that it was born out of an experience she had where she didn't feel welcome into the genre. And I think a lot of the speculation is that it stemmed from a performance years ago during the CMTs where she did a collab with the Chicks.
Yep.
I've heard a few of the songs. We've been listening to a couple pieces, and I like it.
I do too. And you know what, Beyonce, what is art if it doesn't provoke us to have conversation? And we're doing that. In fact, we're doing that with students and Queen Bee fan at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music, where they know music. This student, listen to him, he has nothing but excitement for the new album.
I'm super, super excited because I know regardless of any genre or any influences or any whatever, I just really respect Beyonce's intention as an artist, as a musician, as a creator of culture, and I know it's just going to be a super well-crafted body of work, and I'm just excited to hear it.
Is he wearing a Beyonce shirt as well? Did I catch that?
He's all in, right?
I mean, all in, and that's the thing. I do understand what he means by that, like just the creativity and being a little bit different. It's why not?
Why not? Well, you know, let's listen in just a little bit for a piece of music that we want you to hear as we go to this next part of this segment.
You ain't never gotta look no further, I ain't hard to find. You ain't never gotta look no further, I ain't hard to find.
All right, so we're showing you Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Melky Jean. She's a humanitarian. She also happens to be the sister of, you know, Wyclef Jean, and she has something to say. She has crossover. She blends her Caribbean roots with also other genres as well, global music sounds. So she knows a lot about the conversation of crossover. And this morning, we're talking to Melky about this conversation. Melky, welcome in, my friend, joining us from the 305. You're so beautiful that I thought that was a still shot for just a second. It's good to see you again. Full disclosure to my viewers, you are my buddy. So talk to me about crossover and this blowback that Beyonce says she felt. And you and I were having a conversation about art, what it should do, what it shouldn't do. Take it away, my friend.
You know what? I think the idea that Beyonce shouldn't be doing country music is the most un-artist thing I've ever heard. As an artist, all you want to do is be able to create, right? The haters are going to hate. Let the haters hate. But I love what Beyonce is doing. I can't wait for her to do a jazz standard album. Or maybe she might hit Queen of the Night aria. She is one of the best of our generation. Let Beyonce do what Beyonce does.
You know, in these conversations, when they come up and you hear all this backlash towards an artist who is just, you know, she's embracing other types of music, bringing people in, crossing barriers, crossing that, you know, that intersection of what's different about not just music, cultures. Why are people sometimes taken back by that? She's not the first artist to do this.
Right. I think people, you know, a lot of people just like to see you in a box, right? But the thing about being an artist is you can't fit in a box because as an artist, you evolve, you create. And let me tell you, it would lead to a lot of depression if artists just stopped creating. Okay. And when she created what she created, because I've been listening to the album all morning, you know what? She's bringing along her fans, people who probably would have never listened to country music now are probably going to go check out some other country artists because not for nothing, country artists are some of the most amazing vocalists. And the writing in country music is by far one of the best writers you'll ever find as a country music writer.
Well, and the overarching lesson for me is this: nobody in the world is just one thing, nor should we be. In fact, we're in dangerous territory when we get into that space where we think somebody should just be one thing. Tell me about, I know you work to serve youth a lot. You've got to think that there are little girls who are watching this morning thinking, there is a new territory for me. There's a new mountain for me to climb this morning, be it country music or any other genre. You talked about aria, maybe that as well.
Right. You know, that little girl can see Beyonce and go, you know what, the world is, there's no limit to what I can do. I can do country, I can do classical, I can do jazz, I can do R&B, I can do pop, I can do hip hop. Why should I be put in a box?
And I think what she's saying is she's accepting. Like, we should accept every single person, regardless of what you love and what you do and what music you listen to.
Absolutely.
All right, so I love you dearly, and it's so good to share the airways with you. Before we let you go, knowing that we met in Haiti, serving the people of Haiti, I have to ask you about the situation in Haiti. We know that you have done work and continue and will do work in Haiti. What's the situation for the people that you consider your family?
The situation in Haiti is really bad. You know, Reed, when we met so many years ago, we were there doing charity work. And it's heartbreaking to think all these years later that things haven't gotten better. They've actually gotten worse. You know, there's no one who is more resilient than a Haitian. You know, Haitian people are so resilient, so strong, so beautiful, and they need our prayers. And, you know, they just need us to not ever forget them.
Well, thank you so much for all your work you're doing. Thank you so much for bringing your insight to us this morning. And I mean, looking as beautiful as ever, so early.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we know you have ties to the Bay Area. And yesterday I said to Melky on the phone, I'm like, you're way fancier. You run in way fancier circles than me, but you're always welcome at my home. Aww. And we'll even kick the kids out of their beds. So come and stay when you're in the Bay Area. Love you dearly, friend.
I love you, baby.
Take care. Take care, my friend.
Take care.
It is really cool to hear a perspective of what other people are thinking after they listen to the music. But it's so true what she said, Reed, is why do you need to put an artist in one particular box? I think when you cross those genres, you learn more about people. And I guess I'm a little taken back at such negative reception when it comes to this towards Beyonce in particular. Yeah. When other artists are doing the same thing. You know, country artists cross over to pop and rock too. Yeah. So vice versa, you know, it should be the same reception. And I know some people are good with it. Yeah. And she's doing it her own way. Apparently Jolene kind of has her own vibe. It
has its own vibe as well. And you know what? We say a lot on this broadcast that we are the bridge building station. Yeah. And we celebrate people who are out there building bridges. And so I think one of the things I take away from Beyonce is that she is building a bridge. And just like Melky Jean said, people in the country world may cross over and try out some of Beyonce's music as well.
And why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
We need each other.
I love that.